All right, give me a second to adjust. Yeah, honey, I'm just on live. It just went live, so we are okay. I'm going to, I think this is the best angle that I get when I do the stand outside of the, let's see. Yeah, I think that's best. I think that's best. You guys agree? If you don't, hey. Got Cuban bread. We're gonna make some Cuban sandwiches today. That's what I'm gonna do. Traditional Cuban sandwiches are made with yellow mustard. So before you start, I'm gonna use Dijon. I don't want to hear any flack about that. I've had those. I think they're actually better with the Dijon mustard. You gotta find my ingredients. Ham, Swiss cheese, or no, that's Swiss cheese. You got a pound of pork from the deli, roasted pork. You can use pulled pork too, which actually makes awesome Cuban sandwich. And a package of ham, smoked ham. That's what we're using today. Pickles. We do need some pickles. I know I bought some today, so. Please take it easy on me. We have some dill pickles. Dill pickles. You can get them sliced a long way. Any type. I wouldn't use sweet pickles. They don't tend to go good with the sandwich. I think the ham's sweet enough to add to the sandwich. That makes it good to go. So, welcome in everybody. We're 2 minutes in. Happy Sunday, everybody. All right, so I'm gonna have to adjust this so that we can see what we're working with. Show me what you're working with. There we go. Max may make a little appearance inside as well. All right, so here we go. First thing, you need Cuban bread. Okay. Being in South Florida, there's a lot of Spanish bakeries all over the place. We get Cuban bread, we can get Haitian bread, which are amazing. Cuban bread is one of my favorite breads. Just a little note that Cuban bread is made with lard, so which is pig fat. So if you're vegan, you got to use a different type of bread because this does have animal products in there. I'm just throwing that out there so that you guys know. But then again, if you're eating a sandwich with pork and ham, you probably are not going to try to veganize this. Let's see. Somebody's here. Momo. Hello. Welcome in. Welcome in, Momo. I'm sure a couple of my mods will get in and be able to check everybody out. So when I start cooking, I'm not able to see them, especially from this angle, but I'm gonna give everything a nice layer of mustard. Like I said, we're gonna be using Dijon mustard. Traditionally, it's made with yellow mustard, but I like the way I went to another country club and they made it with Dijon mustard, and I really enjoyed the Cuban sandwich that was there. So it's kind of like an infusion because Dijon mustard is French, but hey, why not? Why not? Why not improve something? Right? Always improve something. It never hurts. It never hurts. We're gonna do the Swiss. I don't think I have enough Swiss. I was told to get more. we're going to see. I don't think that it's going to be enough, but it is. It's going to work either way. 11 slices. That's weird. All right, so we'll do 5 and 5, and then I've got a little bit of Munster cheese that I can add on to it. Normally, you want to do the top and the bottom, but because we're having guests and I'm making extra, we're stretching it. We're gonna stretch it. We're gonna make those 2 loaves. Both of these loaves of bread. Both of these loaves of bread, by the way, are $2 a piece. You know, I think the most expensive thing that I got was the pork that I had sliced. It was already from the deli, roasted. But like I said, leftover pulled pork is awesome to use. You know. Daniel Crawford, welcome in, sir. Or, sir, welcome in. I happen to have some leftover Munster cheese that I'm going to throw on there. Ideally, you want both sides of the bread, though, coated with the cheese, with a 1 layer of cheese to get that little cheesy goodness. But like I said, we're making do. Ooh, only 2 little slices. I thought I had more. Okay. We'll deal, guys. You know. What does that one lady say on those cooking videos? If it ain't cheesy, it ain't going down easy. But yeah, that's what we're trying. So, let's see. This is not a very hard recipe at all, by the way, guys. This is like very simple. Once you have all of the equipment, it's very, or all of your ingredients, it's just about assembly, you know. So what we're gonna do next? We're gonna put the pickles down. Let's do that. I'm gonna grab a little fork to pull them together. And I know it's been a little crazy the last few days. I know. Last week has been just an upturn in my life, so you know. Just having a lot of family members in the hospital, one of which was my wife the other night. So it's been a crazy little week. Let's just call it that. You know. Yeah. Let me tell you something, guys. Hug your mom, hug your dad, hug your children. You never know when that day comes where you're not going to be able to hug them anymore. Hug them. Hug and show love. So what I'm doing is I'm just throwing the pickles on. These are dill pickles. Now the reason I'm putting the cheese down first is it's kind of like a little barrier to keep the bread from going slimy. You know, it's just something that I've learned throughout doing it is put the cheese first, and it kind of keeps the pickle juice from. Nobody likes soggy bread. You know what I mean? And that kind of helps. You know. Actuality, I'm gonna cook these right away. But if I wasn't gonna cook these right away, if I was gonna store them, for instance, I probably would have put the ham on and some of the other meats as well. But this was a request from my daughter, who's visiting from Orlando, driving all the way from Orlando, Florida, which is about 3 hours away, but still, it's a drive. She wanted to have some Cuban sandwiches, so that's what we're doing. I guess in Orlando, she can't get the real Cuban sandwiches, you know. West Palm Beach weekend, for sure. There's several Cuban restaurants that we can stop in. However, I was so embarrassed one time, then my daughter came in and said, I'm making Cuban sandwiches. Raymond Gonzalez, Cuban sandwiches. I can't see who's there. Somebody with a blue. Cali Bear's in the house. Cali Bear making some Cuban sandwiches, buddy. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Thanks for stopping. You're my first mod in here. Yeah, you can't really get, outside of Florida, there's no place to get really good Cuban sandwiches. Unless you guys know someplace, by all means, let me know. But I've traveled around the United States, and there's nothing like a Cuban sandwich that you get from these little Cuban bakeries, stuff like that. Nothing like it. So I'm putting the smoked ham on. We're gonna do some ham. And like I said, if you got leftover pulled pork is great, especially if you do some mojo pork. Ooh, those Cuban sandwiches go from a 7 to a 10 instantly with that. You know. What do I got? 1 pound of ham. So let's do half a pound on each, right? Why not? Let's do it. I'm just gonna throw those right on top of the pickles. Ooh. Like I said, I'm making two because we got family coming over, and you know, that's gonna be a big old good sub sandwich. Yeah, no, it's gonna be a Cuban sandwich, sir. Cubano. Uno cubano, por favor. It's gonna be, yeah, I've been throwing on a little machine. I'm gonna press them down. They're gonna be nice and hot. That's dinner. That's what my daughter asked for dinner. She lives a couple hours away, so this is what she asked for. I'm gonna do it up for her. When the older kids are in town, I ask them whatever the hell they want for dinner. That's fine. I'll make it. I don't care what it is. You know. All right, so I got a pound of roasted pork. Like I said, if you got pulled pork left over, I was even thinking about getting grilled, making them with grilled pork chops. The thin sliced pork, throwing them on the grill with a little bit of mojo marinade. But I ended up going with the already sliced. It's an easier dinner. It's 1 pound, so I got 1 pound of roasted pork, 1 pound of ham. So each of these are going to get a half a pound of each, which makes them a pound of meat. We all like a pound of meat, that's for sure. But yeah, thanks for stopping, Cali Bear. Mr. Bear, because when I talk into the microphone, it doesn't say what I wanted to say. So now I just started calling you Mr. Bear. Mr. Bear. I hope that you're not offended by that. It kept calling whenever I talk into the microphone. It says Kelly. and I don't want to. I don't want to insult you because you're Cali Bear. You're not Kelly Bear. So I just was like, all right, I'm just gonna start calling him Mr. Bear, and that's it. You are at the beach. Hi, Braylon. At the beach. That's awesome. I work at the beach every day. Thank you for coming in. Happy Sunday, everybody. We're going to take these out. Ooh. Like I said, ideally we would have cheese on both sides, but I ran out of cheese, so we're just making do. But we got the Dijon mustard, the pickles, the ham, the pork. Like I said, traditional Cuban is not made with the Dijon mustard. It's actually made with the regular yellow, which I have, but I like it. I like it with Dijon. So that's the way. I like it. Let me cut these in. I've got to be able to fit them onto the panini press, and it's not a good idea to cut on tile, by the way. It's just I don't have a cutting board big enough to do this, but now I do with the. Now I do with that. So. Now that we got these, 2, 4, 6, 8. I think 8 sandwiches is going to be the perfect amount. Hang on. Tip you guys over a little bit. Oh, so you can see. So what I'm going to do is cut all of these halves in halves. Now that's going to be one sandwich for one person. And they're gonna probably get, if we get a pound of meat on each thing, it's a quarter pound of meat. They are filling sandwiches. Like I said, there is lard inside of the bread. Now, when we actually cut them, you're supposed to cut them on a biased angle. Just like that. You cut them so they're diagonal, you know? Usually they're a little bit big. That's okay. I gotta keep them away from the edge so that Max does not try to jump up and get them, because he is a sneaky little guy. He's a sneaky little guy that likes to jump up and join him. He does. Brayton, I don't know what you mean by 5. A 5. I don't know what that means. Sandwich. I see you said sandwich. That's what we got, guys. Just going live just to say hi to everybody, and welcome in. Happy Sunday. That's it. Just kind of hang out. But yeah, we have the Cuban sandwiches. You need another look if you'd like. Yeah, like I said, I'd like more cheese on them. But you know what I'm gonna do is I got a panini press machine. It's heating up. It's actually ready right now. I can show you. I can show you. Basically, it's just let's do the unlock. What's gonna happen is the sandwiches are gonna go on there. I'm gonna throw some butter on there, and that'll be that. We'll just have them. Oh, we'll have some Cuban sandwiches. Wade, welcome in. Pretty, welcome in. I was just finishing up. Made some Cuban sandwiches. Pretty. Here we go. My daughter's coming. She's drove from Orlando Friday night for my youngest daughter's birthday. So she's here, and I'm doing wonderful, honey. And now that you're here, I'm doing so much better. I'll tell you that. But my daughter's coming. My daughter's coming for dinner before she leaves to go back to Orlando. Orlando's like a 3-hour drive away from us, so it's special when she comes to visit for dinner or for whatever. You know, she comes on Christmas and stuff. When they get older, they you don't see them as much, you know. So she wanted Cuban sandwiches, so that's what I was making. Some Cuban sandwiches for her. So that's what it is. I just haven't shaved. I got so depressed when they told me that, oh, you didn't have to shave your mustache. I really kicked me right in the nads. That hurt a lot. I was like, well, screw this. I'm not shaving at all until they tell me. It almost made me say, fuck that. I'm gonna go full on. What do you want to call it? My buddy says I look homeless when I get the beard going and everything. So, you know. Model Laura, welcome in. Oh, hey, how are you? Yes, it is, my dear. Yes, it is, my dear. It's funny. Is Laura Ann a friend of yours, Pretty? Is that where I get twisted around because I go on different communities and stuff like that. I'm not sure. Oh, Lori. I'm sorry, Lori. I didn't mean to mispronounce. I get twisted around because I'm on a lot of different communities, and sometimes people jump in, and I'm, you know, my memory is pretty crappy, especially if you're on the late, especially if you're on the late nights with me, and especially if you're on the late nights with me and I've been drinking, then it's like, you know, oh, geez. You remember I had this conversation with you? I'm like, no, I'm going to have to go rewatch. Sorry. Max wants to go out. I'm going to give him a little bit of playtime. Max, say hi. Say hi, Max. Go play. So, no, if pretty vouches for you, you're all right in my book. I don't care. There's no need for an interview. Max, go. He's begging to go out. Now he's begging to come back in. The fucking guy. I swear. I love him. But he's a pain in the ass. Yeah, no, Pretty's my sister from another mister. So, as far as I'm concerned, whatever she says, if she vouches for you, you're all right in my book. Like I said, no interview process needed. That was my last match, and I only got half the fucking cigarette lit. Oh, Jesus. Hey, do what you gotta do, hon. Yeah, no, I know. I do a lot of stuff while I'm listening to YouTube. I was trying to listen to my live last night. My mom said that I was, my mother sent me a text this morning. Said, She was very upset with my interview, the live that I did last night. I don't think it was. I think she was speaking about the Solomon Project because my live that I did after the Solomon Project I hadn't posted yet. It goes private until it's been processed or whatever. And she was like, um, yeah, no, she was saying that I got to get my drinking under control and this and that. I think it was the Solomon Project, but I think it was because we were just giggling and laughing so much, which is funny because I was dead sober when I went on the Solomon Project last night. When I went on my other live, I had been drinking on the Solomon Project, and I had a couple beers in me by then. So it was kind of funny that she's calling me out, but I think she's got different political views than me, and she gets upset when I speak about them. Don't get me wrong, I don't bring them up. I don't bring them up. But when somebody does bring them up, I'm quick to chime in and say, well, you know. We were in the car the other day and she was talking about grocery prices. And I'm like, yeah, but a lot of that's from his freaking tariffs. But she didn't want to hear that, so nobody does. Nobody wants to hear it. And that's okay. But you bring up the conversation around me, I'm jumping in. Um, that's it. But I'm not going to bring it up. I don't bring up politics, especially like family functions, stuff like that. That's just a recipe for disaster. My mother almost said, I'm going to pull this car away. I'm going to drop you off, and we're going home. I said, Mom, I'm making dinner for you. Come in and have dinner. We're not going to talk about this. I said, well, then don't bring it up. We won't talk about it. That's fine. I got no problem not bringing it up. But if it gets brought up, I am going to voice my opinion. I'm going to throw my 2 cents in, and hey. No, honey, I don't sugarcoat nothing. No, no. And I respect everybody, and I respect everybody's views. I respect, that's fine. You want to, hey, it's your vote. You vote who you want to. However, you're gonna talk about it. I'll talk about it. You know. So yeah, pretty. My mother almost left yesterday without having dinner, and I'm like, Mom, you brought this conversation up. And the other relatives. I was at a Halloween party. They did the same freaking thing. And I'm like, really? And it was because the 18-year-old son of one of the ladies that was there looked at me and he goes, you realize you're talking to a brick wall. I understand what you're saying, sir. And he called me sir. He was like 18 years old or something. He's like, I understand what you're saying, sir. And I respect you. I said, I respect everybody's opinion. They're allowed to have their opinion, But it's funny that the son just looked at me and because his mom was going off on all sorts of stuff. And I was like, he just leaned over to me and whispered in my ear. He says, you realize you're talking to a brick wall. You're not getting, you're not, they're not listening to a word that you're saying. And I was like, all right. Lori Ann, welcome in. I'm going to have to come check you out. What's your channel about, Lori? What do you do on your channel? I'm interested. I'm gonna have to go look at you. If I go check it out right now, it's gonna end the live. And I don't want to do that while I got people here. If it gets down to 0, then hey. Yeah, pretty. Yeah, pretty. It's been a rough. Is that Chris Lee? Zero excuses. Chris Lee, 2 in a row. Welcome in, Chris Lee. Welcome in, sir. Welcome in. It's good to see you. It's good to see you. You missed the sandwiches I was making, but that's all right. I'm just here for talking now. I can go back and show you if you want to see Chris. Just kind of my daughter's in town, and she lives in Orlando, which is about 3 hours drive from here, and she wanted for dinner before she left today. It's kind of a late lunch, early dinner, but she wanted Cuban sandwiches, so that's what I did. I made some Cuban sandwiches, which is just it's mustard, pork, pickles, cheese. Now Max is being a little jerk, but Mr. Lee, I'm glad that you made it in as well. You guys check out Chris Lee's another content creator as well. Um, he's he does I don't know, explain your content, buddy. No, you're explain Mr. Lee, explain your channel. Explain your channel. I got one of my number one fans on here right now, pretty hard. She's from Brit Family Fun. I don't know if you know that. I met her through Brit Family Fun. Actually, she started her own page and has been skyrocketing since. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. You're doing so awesome. My start date was October. I think it was October 17th, 10 years ago. And that's what they go by. So I believe if I'm going to try to do it, I got to try to do it from now. But, you know. Pretty Heart says, some people just want to let you know that some want to make sure that their opinion is valid and that their opinion is known. That's why I notice for people. I'm a little mixed up with that. I'm not sure how it is. Mr. Lee, I show my life living with multiple sclerosis and how you don't let it keep you down, which you don't. Amen. Amen to that, brother. Multiple sclerosis. My father-in-law's got muscular dystrophy. Different, but similar but different. And yeah, we've been dealing with him. He's had to go to the hospital last week. And my grandmother, who was 101 years old, was in the hospital 2 weeks ago. Then my wife went into the hospital on Thursday for her blood pressure. So, yeah, I want to get a frequent flyer card for the freaking hospital because it's gonna be Chris. No, Chris, thank you. No, thank you. Everybody is home and safe, and everybody's at home. That's the best that can be done. But it just sucks that you drop everything, especially. You know, my grandmother's 101 years old. When my aunt's telling me she's on her way to the hospital, it's like I'm dropping everything, you know? And unfortunately, same with my father-in-law, you know? He's not old, but he's got muscular dystrophy and he's deteriorating quite a bit. So you drop everything. You never know if that's the last time. Let's stop. I gotta stop talking about it.
Sorry. I don't want to think about it. Everybody's home and they're safe. That's the happy. That's a good thing. That's the bottom line, you know? Mm. But yeah. Pretty. I appreciate you so much. In and out of YouTube. In and out of YouTube. And I know you know that. It's time for me to go grab another beer. Because I'm just waiting for the daughter to arrive. She's over at her friend's. No, thank you, pretty. They're home. That's what I was saying. They're home. They're home. I have to ask for anything better. And I know you lost your cousin last week. That sucks. That really sucks. But I know it's been a rough week for everybody, I think. Just the fact of, hold on a minute. He was playing the radio. I had to kind of mute that. Sorry, guys. It might still be in there. Might still be in there. We'll see. If it is, they just generally just tell me that I can silence it out. But Max definitely wants to come inside because he's barking. Thank you, pretty. Come on, Max. Now, look. Now, little asshole wants to go. He's bark. Now my neighbor's yelling at me. I came out because he was barking and he wanted to come back in. And when I come in, now he wants to be out and play. So James, Mr. Howard, welcome in. James, I was making some Cuban sandwiches. I know food is your I know you like food. You want to see that? You want to see the sandwiches? I'm gonna show them to Mr. James Howard. Oh, James, I met you through Pretty, I believe. I believe I met you through Pretty Heart Conqueror. And I've clicked with you ever since. I'm gonna say, you get my humor. My brother Ninja. Let's see, James, let's see. I'm showing off the Cuban sandwiches again. That's them. James, I don't know if you've ever had a Cuban sandwich before. It's ham, pork, pickles, cheese, onions, and I'm gonna throw them on this little guy right here. This little press. We got like a little sandwich press. Just waiting for my daughter to come home. We got a special occasion. My daughter asked for Cuban sandwiches for dinner, so I was like, yeah, we can do that. James, have you ever had a Cuban sandwich, a real legitimate Cuban sandwich before? I'm curious to find out. And Pretty, have you? You're in D.C., so I don't think that I don't know anywhere around there. No. Other than Florida, I haven't found any really good, authentic Cuban sandwiches. So And believe it or not, Cuban sandwiches are an American invention. They're invented by Cuban immigrants, but it was an invention that was made in like our version of pizza that we eat now literally is an American invention. The Belgian waffle, okay? The Belgian waffle is an American invention. Um, it's an American recipe. If you go over to Belgium and you order a waffle, you're not going to get like what you get at Denny's or IHOP, anything like that. You know? Yeah, pretty. Max likes to play games. He's out there right now. My neighbor's out playing with him right now. See, he's got the sad. My neighbor's working on the trailer over there. He's got the little sad. Max! Max! Say hi. He's not. He's like, nope, I'm going to play with my buddy. He's going to stand there and wait for him, so. Pretty, they're good, and they're so simple to make. They're so simple to make. The trick is when we put them in. First off, you got to be able to get Cuban bread, and I don't know if you can get Cuban bread in DC. If you can find a bakery that does it, see here, it's standard in the grocery stores. I think, yeah, it's standard. It's standard in the grocery stores down here. But I haven't been able to find it anywhere outside of Florida. That's the difference, though. It's got lard. They make they don't use butter in the bread when they make it. They use lard, like pig fat, and it makes it so fluffy and so crispy and so good. No. Pretty. Start scoping out some spots. Start scoping out some spots on the beach. I'll start making some Cuban sandwiches. I'll start with a little cart. I don't care. I'll wear the little Daisy Dukes. I'll get them coming. My milkshake brings everybody to the yard, you know? I like to think that anyways. I know that's not true, but Chris, yeah, Philly cheesesteaks. Yeah, I was just watching somebody do a live making them, and he's a new YouTuber. So the funny thing was he wasn't showing what he's making. It was just centered on his face, and I was just like, I wanted to give him a little advice, you know. It's like, hey, because I learned. I mean, you look at my original videos, my cooking videos that I'm trying to do. When I started off, they were crap. I mean, you can't, but you learn. You learn. Your first videos are gonna suck. It doesn't matter, but you learn. You rewatch them and you say, oh, I could have done this better this way. I could have done this better that way, and that's how you get to where. I don't want to say successful, but I am more proud. Let's put it this way: I'm more proud of my cooking videos that I'm doing now than I was a year ago when I started. You know. Now Max wants to come in. And are you gonna go outside? Or are you gonna come in? What do you want to do? I'm not gonna. All right. I gotta put him on that lead because if I don't, he's gonna run through the neighborhood and terrorize all the bunnies and the neighbors' chickens, everything like that. All right, come on, say hi, Max. Just say hi. Okay. All right. Now he's loose. Now he wants to go inside. Cheesesteak. Best cheesesteak. Okay. I've had an Italian cheesesteak before. I'm not a big fan of that. I like the original. I like Mr. Chris Lee, I like the original cheesesteaks, which is sub roll, toast the sub roll, you grill some onions, salt, pepper, throw it on. And with me, the cheese, we always use provolone. So we call them cheesesteak provolone down here in Florida. But I'm up for whatever. I've never had a Philly cheesesteak, and they actually use Cheese Whiz on it. I'm I'm actually very interested to go somewhere and try that. But I haven't had the opportunity to do that, so you know, that would be interesting. Yeah, that's generally what I use here. And even when I make them, we don't call them Philly cheesesteaks at my work. When I do a cheesesteak special, we call them cheesesteak provolone. Um, but yeah, it's for me. It's just this simple: the salt, pepper, thinly sliced steak. Um, and that's it. You know, you don't add too much to it. I worked at a place, it was called Miami Subs, and they would put tomatoes, lettuce, all this other crap on it, and it was like, you're, it's too much. You just want the cheese and the onions and the steaks. That's it. Maybe peppers. Throw some peppers on there. But that's just me. But to each their own. Everybody likes to eat their own way, you know. I I I look at people putting ketchup on their French fries, and I'm like, oh, because I'll take a bottle of hot sauce, and I just cover my French fries with hot sauce, you know. And they look at me like I'm crazy too, but I'm like, hey, you do you do you, I'll do me. We'll be okay, you know. Pretty, thank you. That's probably why. Probably. Oh, thank you. No, anytime, honey. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's probably why Mr. Howard showed up and Chris Lee, a couple of other people, you know. Pretty, do you know Chris Lee? I think I met him through Brit Family Fun. I'm not sure. It was a while ago because I remember watching Chris Lee. And I was first watching your lives. I was working at my country club as a cook. So that was in, I'm going to say January was when I first started. And I was sitting in my car and I get a little bit of a break. So I get about an hour break or so, and I just sit in my car and put the air conditioning on, smoke cigarettes, and watch YouTube, you know, and just get out of the building for a little bit, you know, clear my head. And that's where I first met you, sir. I remember it. Uh, Chris says, I'm a novice, but I don't care. I just want to show my effort. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm the same way. There's no there's no worries over on my department. And there's no judgment. And no, I don't really I don't give a hoot what anybody has to say. I don't care. I support my friends. I support my friends, and I support good people. And ooh, oh, nice steak tonight. Ooh, steak dinner. That's awesome, Chris. You gonna do it live? You gonna make a live video? That's awesome. That's awesome. If I don't get to see it tonight, I'll definitely rewatch it, brother. That's for sure. 100% for sure. I gotta find my lighter because I ran out of matches. Max is here. Oh, you guys want to see the timeout couch? That's a timeout couch. You know what that means? When I'm up too late, that's where I sleep. So I don't bother the wifey. I woke up in the timeout couch tonight because I was up late with Solomon Project, and then I was bored and decided to do my own thing. So, yeah. Are you talking about Chris Lee? Yeah. Yeah, Chris I think I met Chris from. You had German Shepherds growing up. Yeah, I love dogs too. When my buddy had he's a guy that's on here. He's always, anytime he comes on, people think he's a troll because he's always busting my balls. Um, um, and when he comes on, I'm like, he's the one that actually gave me the puppy, and he was like, "What do you want? Do you want a puppy?" And I was like, "I'm not ready to have a puppy in the house." And then I said, "But you know what? I'm never gonna be ready. We're never going to be at that stage, but I'm so happy that I did." He's my best friend. He sits up with me late nights. He cuddles me when I'm sad. He tries to eat rabbits. Max, what are you doing? He digs holes. He's good at digging holes. He's shredding boxes. Recycling went out. Otherwise, I would show you guys some of his box shredding skills. Wait, maybe I might have a box he can do. Chris, if you've never seen him, oh, I don't. Oh, he came running as soon as he heard me open that refrigerator. He came running. That's funny. I don't have a box that he can attack, but oh, he loves to attack boxes and shred them up, and it's the funniest thing. I think I got a few shorts. Yeah, but pretty, if you get some time, check out Chris Lee. No excuses. Zero excuses. I'm sorry. Zero excuses. No, you're okay, Chris. No. You're welcome. You're welcome to the table anytime. So you are welcome to the table anytime. My table's always open, always welcome. Anybody with respect. It's actually open to people without respect. I just have a tendency to kick them out pretty quick. I like fucking with them in the process, though. Oh, Max. See, this is the thing. Is I gotta put his little collar on. And then he wants to go. And now in like 2 minutes, he's gonna be barking to get back in. So, you know, he's a funny little guy. But like I said, I love him. I love him. I'm a little upset because my papayas have got worms in them, and let me show you guys my papayas. I've got all these freaking papayas that are ripening and getting ready. So see these papayas? All right, I got 4 papaya trees in the back. 3 of them, 2 of them are fruiting. I guess that one's fruiting too. Um, they've got this. They've got this wasp that it's invasive. It's actually from Asia, and it's what they do is they implant their eggs inside of the fruit, and the worms eat the fruit. They're like little maggots. They're like big maggots. They're like that big. Maybe let's see, a couple inches. A couple inches is pretty big. Depends who you talk to. So it's kind of bummed me out that they got freaking worms in them. You know, otherwise I would have had some fresh fruit, some fresh papayas. But because my pineapples, I've got 30 pineapples growing, but we get we get about 4 a season out of them. They take a whole year to grow. I just plant them. It's good with you just stick them in the ground, and you forget about them. And then a year later, you might get a pineapple. If you're not looking though, the raccoons will grab them, or they'll rot on the vine. So you got to kind of keep glancing at them. Make sure that if you tuck them somewhere where you're not gonna see them every day, then you're gonna end up missing them. You know. I don't have as many problems with the raccoons since I've got Max. I used to have freaking raccoon problems all the time coming around the house. Since Max, they stay away from the area of the house. So one good thing about having Max, you know. And Chris Lee, like I said, you're always welcome, sir. Always welcome. All right. See, this is the whole key. Is if I do not shut this fence right here before I unhook him, he is out in the neighborhood, running free. And the only way that I can get him is I've got to get in my car and open the door, and then he thinks we're gonna go for a ride, so he'll jump in the car, and then I got him trapped. So that's how I catch him. Pretty Heart and Chris Lee, and you know what? What I found, it doesn't matter on my lives if I've got quantity of people coming in. It's you know what, in all honesty, for me, it's the quality of the people that show up. And you guys are super stand up, and I would rather talk one-on-one with you than have 100 people on the live. I honestly would rather talk one-on-one with you guys than being with 100 people. So. You know the thing that sucks though? I don't think they count because I gave you guys are both moderators with the blue hats. So for me now it's showing 0 people in the house, and I don't think moderators, because I've had 20 people in the room. Granted, all of them were other content creators and other moderators, and it was just funny because now it's showing 1 right now, but you guys have been there the entire time. I know you haven't logged off, you know. But I think once you get that blue wrench, it doesn't count you as the So pretty, keep that in mind when you're doing your lives. If you've got 20 people in your lives and it's showing 0, but those 20 people that are in your lives are the blue jackets, keep that in mind. That's just something I noticed. You know, you gotta wait. What's going on? Pretty. Let me go ahead and get ready for work and get prepared for school tomorrow. Brandon, it's always a pleasure. Hey, you got the other side of this. You got the other side of that, sis. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming in. Thank you so much for coming in. I wish they had a little symbol on it where you could do the half a heart. You know, I wish they could do that, but hey, but you know, when I do that, you that's for you, sis. Always. All right. All right, Chris. I'm gonna end the live. I'm getting a wave from the kids. Is Harmony here? Daughter's not here yet, but getting close. So you have a wonderful, both of you guys. Chris Lee, Mr. Lee. This is pretty hard. I mean, you're aware of this symbol when you make the heart with your, you know. I always go when I go with Pretty. I've usually got my phone in my hand and I say, hey, I got half of the heart. You got the other half. You know. So that's what that is. But all right. Well, you guys have a great afternoon, and thanks for stopping by. I'm gonna go ahead and end the live. But yeah, thank you guys for coming in. Chris, always a pleasure. You're welcome in anytime, bro. Anytime. Like I said, it's not for me. It's not about the quantity of people in here. It's the quality of the people that are here. And you're a quality person. And I enjoy your conversation. Enjoy talking to you. So take care of yourself and take care of each other. This is what Jerry Springer used to say. Take care of yourself and each other. Have a good night. But that's a good thing to say. As what I started with somebody and said, peace, love, and bacon grease. Peace and bacon grease. That's what I say because I'm doing cooking. You know. Peace and bacon grease. Peace and bacon grease to you guys. Have a wonderful night. Thank you for stopping in.